What's up, everybody? Great show today for SOS. We're breaking down two interesting topics. One, what's the greatest sports moment in Vegas history? And what's the greatest sports movie of all time? Plus, the former GM of the Ignite, Anthony McClish, joins me in the studio. SOS starts right now.
Make some noise. This is Sound Off Sports, sponsored by Sam and Ash.
I think the greatest sports moment is a combo. The Aces, the Knights, the Aces. Those three championships right back to back was amazing. Totally awesome. Love our Aces. Love our Knights. Love that they gave us all of that all at once. And I think that is actually our greatest moment, a combination of the two. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sound Off Sports. Mike Davis here alongside James Edward Barrickman IV. James, a lot of great questions we asked our audience this time. You can always give us a buzz, 702-855-3502. We'd like to hear your thoughts. But this time we asked about what's the greatest sports movie of all time, and what we're kicking off with, what's the greatest Vegas sports moment of all time. That last call we heard, yes, there's been a lot of winning of recent memory here.
That stretch from like 2023 to 2024 was pretty incredible.
And monumental stuff. I mean, back-to-back championships for the Aces, the Stanley Cup run and win in 2023. But to me, James, back in the old days, they used to call it a taxi, right? You need a ride to the airport. You say, oh, get a taxi.
Get you a taxi.
Yeah. What do you say now?
You're going to call an Uber or a Lyft. Yeah,
taxis
don't exist.
Call an Uber. It's
like, they exist, but
being first matters to me, right?
Okay.
We don't call, if you asked anybody and you throw a rock at somebody and you say, what's the rideshare service general, what you call it, an Uber. People don't say Lyft. They say Uber because Uber was first.
Sure, yes. So that is the more popular.
Right. You know, some people, you said, okay, I thought you were just going to say Uber. You said, oh, you call it Uber.
I have both. I like to gauge both prices. I'm cheap.
Same with me. I get more benefits on my Lyft. But I'm just saying, we call it an Uber. You say, oh, you can just get an Uber, grab an Uber, right? Oh, went out drinking, can't drive, grab an Uber.
Gotcha.
Being first matters. And then what I'm trying to get at here is that I think everybody's probably going to think greatest sports moment in Vegas history, in this city's history. People are probably going to think I'm sure we got a lot of Vegas Golden Knights responses. I'm sure we got some Aces. But to me, it's about being first. And that's why I think we call Uber, and we just, as a general, don't just call it, Lyft. We call it Uber because that was first. So to me, 1990, UNLV, Coach Tark winning the national championship, winning by 30 points, a number, beating Duke by that. It still hasn't been matched to this day. It's the first touchstone moment in Vegas sports history that really created the foundation for sports in this city. And that's why I think being first matters, and that would be my vote.
I will not knock anybody who says Tark's Rebs in the 90s winning the Natty, knocking off Coach K by 30 plus. Listen, it's not a wrong answer. It's one of the right answers. Put it this way. I personally, and I think a lot of people disagree with me here I know a lot of people disagree with me here because our number one answer was the VGK Cup run in 23, 45% of our respondents.
This is respondents on Facebook and X.
Yes.
Twitter. So you can always go to Silver State Sports. Make sure you go there. Also, give us a buzz. We're getting a lot of great voicemails and calls, 702-855-3502. We want to know your thoughts. But you're saying the number one response, tallying the pie chart,
was the VGK Cup run in 23. And that surprised me because I thought a lot of people would say Tark's Rebs winning the national championship in 1990. That was the second most popular response, with the third one being the Aces back-to-back.
Right. So I figured,
or the Aces first championship.
And I figured that would be the top three. It's interesting because, listen, I'm born in 92. You're born when?
In 97.
So, I mean, we didn't experience this Rebels run and this historic team and the way that they kind of captivated not only the city, but college basketball and fandom because it was a popular Larry Johnson. I mean, Anderson Hunt. These guys. It was a fun time.
People that were here at the time, they won't let it go, and they shouldn't. Those guys should be honored forever. But they were the only show in town. What I'm saying, is that's number 2. But not behind the Cup run in 23.
And what is your answer?
Year 1 Golden Knights.
Because you think...
Just because it was so improbable. They were 500-1, finished the pick dead last in the NHL and expansion team. They should not have stood a chance. They should have been run over, an afterthought. And they come in after 1 October. And that home opener that was so special, they run the Coyotes off the ice. You get that speech from Derek Engelland, and when Vegas is in its greatest time of need, they get this hockey team full of people that nobody wants. And what do? They go on a cup run at 500-1, something that only happens in storybooks and movies. We're not gonna get. It was just so unprecedented, and the timing with 1 October. We're not going to see another expansion team make a run at their league title like that for another 500 expansion teams.
It's a really great point.
And so when you take all of those things into account, I think what the Golden Knights did for the city by going on that run makes them number 1, because without year 1, year 6, the Cup run, that doesn't happen. It's year 6 isn't as special if you don't have year 1. So I think year 1 has to be.
It's a good point, and not everything has to be. I mean, listen, sports is about winning, but it is a solid answer, even in a time when they don't ultimately win the Stanley Cup, they lose to the Capitals. But for an expansion franchise to get that moment in their initial year is remarkable.
Unprecedented isn't the word because for it. That doesn't happen.
Well, just think about expansion franchises. Think about the Houston Texans. Think about the Carolina Panthers. How many
the Seattle Kraken.
How long it takes these franchises to get out of the grave just to get into relevancy, because it's so hard for an expansion franchise to develop.
The Valkyrie in the WNBA, they're playing well. We'll see what happens if they make the playoffs. But, I mean, even the Valkyrie at about a little over 500, I think. It's
hard.
We'll see what happens. But I think you have to put the Golden Knights up there just because...
That not the title win, but you're saying that
year 1,
the inaugural season.
Year 1, it was so special.
That's a good point. Let's go to our callers though. We got another great voicemail. Let's hear what somebody else had to say on this.
When they won the Stanley Cup, that was the best.
All right, another response. Let's hear it.
I'm going with the Las Vegas Aces. I love my girls. They be doing their thing. A shout out to Aja Wilson for being the best. And shout out to Chelsea Gray. Shout out to Jackie Young. They really doing their thing. I know we're having a bad start, but it's okay. We're going to come back. So my team is the Aces. Love you, girls.
All right, so yes, a lot of popular answers. It's basically all VGK, Aces, and Running
and I think the Aces, they deserve a place in this because they were the first professional, well, not in the Big Four, but the first major professional sports franchise to win here in Vegas. But they did it before the Golden Knights.
Yeah, they did it before.
So they deserve their credit too. But I'm saying year 1 Cup run, and you're saying Tarks Rebs in 1990.
I still think
those are my top 2.
Because I think that really makes the fabric for sports in this city, and that sets the tone and the foundation.
1,000%. So, there's one guy in this town, one sports figure in this town with a statue. It's Jerry Tarkanian out front of the Thomas Mack.
It's true. All right, guys. Well, we are going to be back after a short break.
Without any doubt, it's the Vegas Golden Knights that brought home that Stanley Cup. And in my heart of hearts, I know we're going to get another one.
Hello, everybody. Mike Davis here inside the Den Fox 5 studios. A great new guest we have. Well, actually not so new, because if you've been an OG with this show and the Vegas Huddle and a lot of our stuff in the past, you would know that we had a great partnership with the G League Ignite, a team that was operating here in Henderson, Nevada. And we are joined right now by the former GM, Anthony McClish. Anthony, we had so many great conversations in the past talking G League Ignite. Now we're back at it because we're talking about a great Shock the Future Foundation event. It's basically going to be the first ever, reunion for all these great participants, members, and families that were associated with the Ignite. So it's great to have you back in here. One of our first conversations was about McNuggets. Do you remember that?
Yeah, for sure.
The McNuggets story is
MGM Grand,
is a classic. So you got to go back and watch that. But tell us. So, of course, we're doing a G League Ignite show, and everybody gets sad, and it's after its fourth season, Commissioner Adam Silver shuts down this program that generated a lot of talent from guys like Ron Holland, Modest Buzelis, Jalen Green, Dyson Daniels, all these great guys. And then when you heard the news, take me to that moment when everything was shut down. He kind of made I think the first thing Adam Silver said was like, okay, we got to reevaluate the future of this program. When he said that, did you kind of already know the writing was on the wall?
Well, that feeling you get when you forget to do your homework, or you lost something, or you overslept, right? That pit of your stomach feeling. Because I remember exactly where I was. We were in Indianapolis for the All-Star break, All-Star game.
Yeah.
And if you remember, our Ignite guys would play in the Rising Stars Challenge. It was one of the highlights of a player's experience with Ignite, was to be able to participate in All-Star Weekend playing the Rising Stars game against the NBA first and second year players. That particular Friday of the Rising Stars game, Modest hits the game winner over Brandon Miller, I think, right, to advance the G League group into the second day. And so there was this euphoria, and we're in the stands and we're cheering him on and everything. And Scoot Henderson, who was an alum from the year before, was playing, in the same event and everything. So here's this high moment, whatever. And literally within 24 hours, I remember exactly where I was. I was having dinner with a friend of mine at a restaurant downtown Indianapolis who works in the NBA. And that just gets put up on, the ticker kind of thing or whatever. And it's just like heavy weight there.
All right, thanks so much to Anthony McClish for joining me here in the den. For the full interview, go to our YouTube page, Silver State Sports.
The best sports movie of all time was Slapshot.
All right, welcome back to SOS. So we asked everybody at home, what's the greatest sports movie of all time? As you just heard from that voicemail, Slapshot, the great Paul Newman. Yeah. You haven't seen that.
I have not seen Slapshot yet.
Good. Good indie movie. Hockey heads love it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's a great great film. Paul Newman, I love that. But to me, when we're talking best sports movie of all time, as a guy from Philly, I'm biased, okay, James? Of course. It's got to be Rocky. Now, this film, of course, it's tremendous, but it was also nominated 10 times for an Academy Award. It won Best Picture. In '76, it made $266 million globally, which is insane. Stallone wrote it. He acted in it. It was like a whole undertaking to even get this film greenlit. It was basically an indie film that goes on to win a Best Picture at the Oscars. I mean, it's clearly the best film of all time. It spawned a huge franchise. It spawned Creed.
Yeah.
It's, to me,
nobody's arguing that Rocky is not one of the greatest sports movies.
And I think there's there's Chariots of Fire. There's these films that were really great works of cinema that were sports films, but also won Best Pictures. To me, though, this really takes the true essence of a sports film and also wins all those cinematic awards that you want with a great film. Listen, do I love Talladega Nights? Do I love Dodgeball? Do I love Happy Gilmore? Do I love all these films? 100%. But they're not the greatest sports movie of all time, just because there's got to be that, the equivalent of winning the Super Bowl, right? And to me, that's winning an Academy Award. That's the Best Picture. So, I mean, Rocky takes the great qualities of a sports film and puts them all together into a cinematic
well-made film.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's my reasoning for it.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with you when it comes to Rocky. Maybe the public responses.
What do the public responses say? We have a pie chart here.
It's actually a bar graph.
A bar graph.
Yeah.
What is it?
So the public disagrees with you. Rocky's nowhere to be found.
Rocky's not
in the top 7.
You're saying you calculated responses.
I calculated percentages of the responses
from
that we
Facebook
got.
and Twitter.
From Facebook and X, yes. And the number 1 movie by our respondents, number 1 sports movie of all time, they say it is Remember the Titans.
Okay, I have that in my top 5. Great film.
So number 2, then Rudy. Number 3, Major League. Number 4, Hoosiers. Number 5, Any Given Sunday. Number 6, Moneyball. Number 7, Miracle. So that was how the public...
You're saying
responded.
Rocky's not even on it.
I told you Rocky's not in the top 7.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's not my top. I like Rocky, but it's not like my personal
What's your
favorite
top
5.
five? What's your top?
My personal top 5? Major League.
That's your number 1.
That's my number 1.
Okay.
I love Major League. Then Moneyball, I had to put it number 2. Miracle, the great film. I can recite the entire speech.
Okay,
great
Russell,
moments. Yep.
Yeah.
4, you're not gonna like this, Talladega Nights.
What are you talking about? I love Will Ferrell. I'm just saying it's
you were just knocking Talladega Nights 5 seconds ago.
I'm not knocking it. I was saying Happy Gilmore, Talladega Nights, Dodgeball, all these films, I love them.
So,
but
anyway.
They're not the best sports movie of all time.
Right, they're comfort food.
They're not even... Yeah, it's... okay.
Number 5, Longest Yard, and then my honorable mention...
Which Longest Yard? Adam Sandler?
The new one.
Okay.
I love the 05 one. Then honorable mention, 42, Dodgeball, Draft Day, Waterboy, Happy Gilmore. That was a tight battle for the 5th spot.
James is not as cinematically cultured as I am, so I'm going to tell you the proper. I spent a lot of time on this. These are the top 5 sports movies of all time. And please, give us a call, 702-855-3502, and literally call me and tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. Rocky, Field of Dreams. I can't believe Field of Dreams is not in responses. This is
That
insane.
was, only a couple of people.
That may be. I mean, that could even be better than Rocky, but I'm putting Rocky 1, Field of Dreams. Then I'm doing Caddyshack. How is Caddyshack not?
I was expecting Caddyshack to be on here.
Caddyshack, Dangerfield, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Ted Knight. Tremendous, okay? Then I also have my last 2. I have Remember the Titans, which is tremendous, and Hoosiers.
You got a bunch of classics.
Classics. These are classics. Hoosiers, you have to see.
I've not seen Hoosiers either.
Gene Hackman, R.I.P., just passed away. He's tremendous. And then Dennis Hopper. It plays a drunk dad who's so good in it. Well, he got nominated for an Oscar for it.
I've only recently gotten around to seeing Field of Dreams.
2 films. Let me just say this. 2 films that are in the National Film Registry, Library of Congress in my top 5, Hoosiers and Field of Dreams. Meaning they're basically... They're storing these films away and preserving them in the Library of Congress because they're so instrumental to our culture, to the fabric of America.
Listen,
And meanwhile, we got people responding with Any Given Sunday.
And Rudy?
I mean, Rudy's overrated.
Rudy's horrible.
It's overrated.
I
don't like
can't
it because it's
stand
not
Rudy.
realistic, because you just don't...
I just think Rudy's such a dork.
It's okay movie. It's overrated.
I don't
It's not
like it.
my
And
top.
I have a disdain for
There we
everything.
go. Come 702-855-3502. One more time. You just gotta, let me just list it. Rocky, Field of Dreams, Caddyshack, Remember the Titans, and lastly, Hoosiers. James, we got one more response or no?
Hey, this is Paul. By far the best movie ever made, Bad News Bears. Thanks.
Yeah, Paul, that's a great response. Walter Matthau, the original, before Billy
that's
Bob
another
Thornton.
new one. I like the Billy Bob Thornton version.
Billy Bob Thornton's good, but Walter Matthau, first one, is
I've never
actually
seen the
class.
first
It's really great. So that was on my list as well. All right, so a lot of good responses there. 702-855-3502. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hey, the best sports movie ever made was North Dallas 40. It's the truest movie about professional football that was ever made. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. It's time for Sink or Swim. So, James, there's something percolating on social media right now. Tell us what's going on with this new question.
So we want you to imagine this race. You have Usain Bolt versus Joey Chestnut. two of the greatest in their respective sports, racing each other, but the race entails you must finish a hot dog and then take off in a 100-meter dash. Who would win?
Okay, so they both have to eat the hot dog.
You got to
and
finish
both
the hot
run.
dog, and then you take off on a 100-meter dash.
100% Usain Bolt.
I don't think you understand how quickly Joey Chestnut's finishing one hot dog.
Yeah, but he finishes the hot dog a little quicker than Usain, but then Usain makes it up
How long
running.
do you think you could finish a hot dog? How long do you think it would take you?
For me, one hot dog, if I'm really trying to kill myself, like, I don't know, maybe...
I think 10 seconds.
10 seconds, probably.
You're giving someone a 10-second head start in a 100-meter dash. I don't care if you're the Flash. You're not catching the average person.
So you think Joey Chestnut...
I think Chestnut would finish the hot dog so quickly, he would have such a head start in the 100-meter that Usain Bolt wouldn't be able to catch him.
I've interviewed Joey here at Fox 5. He's very fit.
He's coming here?
Yeah, I've interviewed him here on Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
He's very fit. He's fit. Like, so it's not like he's like an out-of-shape guy.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So,
you have to be able to do that.
Right.
And if we're just talking American heroes... we should ask this next week.
In honor of July 4th.
We should just talk about American heroes. What's the top 3 most American people you can think of? Dale Earnhardt,
Babe Ruth,
Joey Chestnut, and like Secretariat. Are those the best 3 athletes of all time? We'll talk about it next week.
Joey Chestnut's definitely up there. That's actually a hard... I'd love to see this play out. Maybe we can have AI do it for us.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens.
But you're taking Bolt?
I'm going to take Bolt because I still think he's a fun dude. He'd shove that hot dog. He'd try to eat that hot dog as fast as he can.
I'm intrigued. This should get set up somehow.
I just think eating the hot dog as fast as you can or running as fast as you can, if they both do that, I just think Bolt ends up defeated.
An interesting hypothetical.
We'll see. We love hypotheticals here at Sound Off Sports. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. As always, go to our Facebook, go to our X page, go to our YouTube, Silver State Sports, and make sure you give us a call at 702-855-3502 to always share your thoughts. For James, I'm Mike Davis. We'll see you next time here in the Den for Sound Off Sports.